week 2 of season 4, and all the teams are looking to try and grab as many points early in this season. Another 9 games of fixtures to show you in this highlights reel. Looking at the team lineups for week 2, Parmesan at Belgrade, as said last week, are missing Richie for the season, but they have numbers boosting in the normal team lineup, with Richard, Kev, Graham, Yanis, Joshua, Adam and Paul all answering the call to step up and try and claim points, with Richard making his Parmesan Belgrade debut this week. Now, looking at lineups for O.B City, we can see in this lineup that there are 2 guest commissioner players coming in as subs in Penny and Brian for O.B City this week, with Willie, Bernie, Captain Ryan, Matthew, Stephen and Stephen all available as regular lineups as O.B City look to try and get as much points to defend their title. Scrandinavia's lineup now, and they also have a commissioner sub available in the matter of Scott D joining the team. So Baz Jr. can call upon Thomas, Craig, Des, Stuart, Barry C, Adam and of course himself in this week, as Scrandinavia look to try and get themselves off the bottom of the table. Next lineup for week 2 is Flaberdeen, and Flaberdeen's lineup also shows 2 commissioner players, including the commissioner himself, with Dan making his debut this week for Flaberdeen. So Paul has Luke, Lewis, Jordan, Dawn as the regulars and himself, with Chopper and Dan as the 2 extra players. Now we move on to the first of our newcomers for the season in the lineups, with Rapid Viennetta, who are also sporting a commissioner sub for their team in Craig. Cal, captain for Rapid, will be able to call upon Roscoe, Craig, Ryan, David, Kev and David M as well, also appearing, as well as Lewis, to help them move up the table. And finally, we look at our last new team for the season in Fatburn Rovers, with Captain James making his debut for the team this week, and he's able to call upon the likes of Nicky, Ryan, Fraser, Robbie and also the commissioner player acting in a sub, Matthew, in order for them to continue their good form from week 1. Now, looking at the league table before the games kicked off after last week's fixtures, O.B City continuing their dominating trend at the top with 9 points. Fatburn Rovers and Rapid Viennetta are both impressive debuts in their first week. Parmesan Belgrade on 3 points, Flaberdeen on 1 and Scrandinavia unfortunately walking away last week with 0 points. First of our week 2 opening games sees Scrandinavia versus Parmesan Belgrade. Scrandinavia find themselves at the bottom of the table, with Parmesan Belgrade only walking away with a single win last week, meaning both these teams were hungry to walk away with the points this week after having tight battles in previous seasons. And Parmesan Belgrade were coming forward early on in the match, looking for opportunities to try and take the lead early on, with Graham playing the ball back to Yanis, but the ball almost lost there as Baz has the opportunity early on to try and dink it past Richard, but unfortunately Baz hit it wide there. That didn't deter Parmesan Belgrade, and with a quick ball out from the back, finding Joshua up front, he's managed to hold the ball up and play his teammates in, but eventually lost in the midfield, and Stuart with the early goal for Scrandinavia, smashing that shot with a lovely turn of the ball. Thomas flicking that ball towards Stuart there, and a lovely touch and turn there to set him up perfectly, hit it on the half volley and to smash past Richard, who unfortunately on his debut for Parmesan Belgrade this week has to see the ball going past him for the opening goal. But Parmesan Belgrade were constantly fighting back in this match, and Yanis, battling well with the ball, managed to get a shot on the Scandinavia goal, but Barry C in goals there managed to protect and keep the lead for Scandinavia. But eventually Scandinavia showed defensive weaknesses as Parmesan Belgrade threw players forward, with Josh there hitting wide. Another opportunity for Parmesan Belgrade, with the arm of Baz there for Scandinavia pointing out the weaknesses in their defence, but Parmesan Belgrade did come forward. Colin with a great touch against the wall there to line up Adam and find that equalising goal early on there. Colin doing some very clever play there, realising he needs to do something to get around the players for Scandinavia that are locking down the attack. Adam reacting well for Parmesan Belgrade, and Adam for Scandinavia head looking up to the sky in frustration. Scandinavia, though, knew they had to get points this week, and straight away from the kickoff, Stewart was able to find the bottom corner past Richard through a ruckus of bodies there. A very casual shot there from Stewart, has to say, but definitely on target, and potentially with a slice of luck right into the corner of the post, managing Scrandinavia to give them a 1-goal lead once again at 2-1. Baz once again directing his players as he is hiding behind the camera, but definitely acting as captain, directing his players on the pitch, and it gave more opportunities for Scandinavia to come forward, with Adam getting a third goal for Scandinavia, and to their absolute delight, given their position in the league currently, they gave themselves a 3-1 lead. The defence there for Parmesan Belgrade, you have to say, were switching off completely there, and Adam taking that opportunity to slot third goal into the bottom corner. As I said earlier though, Parmesan Belgrade were not deterred and tried to push forward, but it did lead to their demise as Stewart managed to round off his hat-trick in this game, giving Scrandinavia an impressive 4-1 win lead early on. Apologies, game not finished. 4-1 lead to Scandinavia at this point in the match there. Stewart and a hat-trick, things looking rosy for Scrandinavia, and Scrandinavia continued to look as if they were going to go forward and get more goals, but Parmesan could sense a counter-attack opportunity and found success through the connection of Paul S and Joshua there. Paul playing a lovely ball to Joshua, Joshua managing to get it out from his feet there, and then using that left foot to get it through Dez's legs, and unfortunately for Dez there, the touch on the back of his foot was unable to direct the ball away from the goal and into the back there, and then disaster struck straight after kick-off there for Scandinavia, in which Parmesan Belgrade, and specifically Paul S for Parmesan Belgrade, took full advantage of clumsy work there by Craig, and Dez's quick reaction and goal wasn't enough to stop the opportunity for Paul and turn the game to a single goal lead. However, quick thinking from Barry C managed to get a fifth goal for Scrandinavia, and it's worth noting goals from kickoffs will now become illegal in our Fat Fives League after consultation with the players, but Barry C taking full advantage of the rule when it's still in effect, and then followed that up with almost a sixth goal there for Scandinavia, but some great goalkeeping there from Richard and Gold denied him there. Scandinavia realised that they couldn't just relax, they needed to be on the counter-attack and attacking form, and Thomas there managing to get a sixth goal eventually for Scrandinavia. A couple of attempts here from Thomas, the first one obviously going wide and the ball fortunately coming back, and then off the leg of Paul there, directing the ball into the bottom corner. And at this point, with a 3-goal lead at 60, everything looked rosy for Scandinavia. But it didn't last for long in this match, with Parmesan making an amazing effort to come back into the game. As you can see here, Kevin with a fantastic run there to get Parmesan Belgrade a fourth goal to give them their first step to get back into the match, shoving off almost 3 players there, certainly pushing away Craig to show his strength there, and then giving Baz Jr. the eyes, and Thomas not able there to close him down. And then straight from the back, Richard out to Kevin, moving forward there. The ball lost in this scenario here, but Richard's save there managed to ignite Parmesan Belgrade to go forward with Graham, as Graham looks to find Yanis in front of goal, and Yanis coolly finishing that away to bring it back to 6-5 for Parmesan Belgrade. And at this point, the boys in white, fully aware that there is only 1 goal in this game in order for them to get something after being 3 goals down, galvanise them to push forward. Scrandinavia, you could sense a little bit of panic about them. They could sense that the game was starting to change for them, and they had a win in their hand. But unfortunately, once again, the boards coming to the aid of Parmesan Belgrade. Yanis almost mimicking the opening goal for Parmesan Belgrade by using the boards, and Kevin there having a huge amount of fortune there, both in the position of the ball that landed and the touch going into the back of the net. And the game concluded at 6-all. Unbelievable collapse for Scandinavia, but a fantastic game for the neutral. Second of our opening games for week 2 saw O.B City versus Flaberdeen, and early on from the kick-off, O.B City looking to push forward and try and put Flaberdeen under pressure. These two teams having very different successes at the end of Season 3, with O.B City walking away with the title and Flaberdeen find themselves at the bottom of the league. However, Flaberdeen look like a new team, and in fact they do have new players, including Chopper on loan and Dan as well, with Jordan returning back. But early on, O.B City did push Flaberdeen right back into their own defence, and unfortunately some mix-up here between Jordan and Dan playing for the first time gave the opening opportunity for O.B City, and Stephen punished them with the opening goal to give O.B City a 1-0 lead early on. Dan playing the 1-2 with Jordan, as we can see here, but some great pressing going on there from the O.B City players, and a great link up there between them to find Stephen B in front of goals. And at that distance from goal, Stephen is definitely not a player that misses. But it did galvanise the Flaberdeen team, and where previously it's been expected for O.B City to push on and for teams to collapse under the early pressure, Flaberdeen managed to actually get some strength from it, be able to organise himself, and Jordan here with a brilliant run going past Willie and through the gap in front of Burney and finding the ball in the bottom corner there with Captain Ryan on goals, unable to do anything to stop that. And from there, Flaberdeen did get a boost from it. O.B City weren't completely out of the match, but Flaberdeen did empower themselves from it with Burney with a fantastic run, but the save there from Don inspiring Flaberdeen to go onto the counter-attack. The ball played all the way up into the O.B City half and eventually making it back to their goalkeeper. But Flaberdeen, like I said, kept on battling and were not undetermined by the fact that O.B City had the early lead there. And with an opportunity with the ball flying right across the O.B City goal there, Flaberdeen looking to push forward as Chopper tried to get a shot on target, with Ryan, captain in goals, doing well to get his hands on the ball there. Dan then looking to link up with Lewis with a long ball, but eventually it's cut out, and Stephen there with a fantastic shot on the Flaberdeen goal. And big credit to Don in this match for the goalkeeping effort to keep Flaberdeen in this game with O.B City. And it eventually did pay off with Dan pushing forward with the ball and the chance there to try and get a shot on target, but Ryan matching him in goals there as Chopper brings the ball down and looks to play it from the back in that scenario. With all this Flaberdeen pressure, eventually it would give way, and even though Stephen winning the ball in O.B City's half there and spurring a counter-attack from there, the goalkeeping efforts in for goals for Flaberdeen did help in order to make Flaberdeen secure in the back and give them confidence for pushing forward, as Jordan did play into Dan, and Dan, the long shot, eventually gave way in the O.B City defence, giving Flaberdeen a unexpected lead in this match prior to going into the game. O.B City in this scenario very heavy favourites amongst all the fans of Fat Facts to win this match, with Flaberdeen taking a surprising lead and showing a very impressive performance in this match. Don playing out from the back once again in this highlight to play in Chopper, and Chopper doing some fantastic link-up play here with Jordan with the 1-2 and then the scoop shot into the bottom corner, and there was the third goal for Flaberdeen with Chopper and Jordan related with the partnership there. Ball there looked like Dan could have picked up if missed by Chopper, but Chopper definitely had his eyes set on there in the corner of the goal and managed to slot it away very nicely for the third goal for Flaberdeen. O.B City did keep attacking, but the chances were few and far between, as Flaberdeen here battling well, and Jordan then looking to try and play it across to Chopper. Chopper letting the ball come back into the half and then scooping it round to Jordan there, and eventually lands with Chopper again, and the shot just wide, almost again into the bottom corner, which would have been Flaberdeen's fourth, showing how well Flaberdeen in this match grew into the obstacles that they had and raised the challenge here. And eventually Flaberdeen did find themselves with a fourth goal, with another link play between Chopper and Jordan there. A little bit of a skiffed shot there from Chopper, but it did bobble itself into the bottom corner there, and it doesn't matter how the balls go in, they all count. Great pass there from Jordan, and Chopper then, again, not a clean connection, but did make sure that that shot went into the bottom corner. Flaberdeen elated with the 4-1 lead. Again, almost Chopper here walking away with 3 goals there, but once again, just off target with the shot. A really powerful shot there that just went over the crossbar. But eventually, luck comes onto the side of O.B City here, with Matthew winning the ball, linking up with the players, and then finishing off the start of his own move to give O.B City a second goal in the match and to reduce the deficit between the teams to only 2 goals. Lovely link-up play for O.B City there, and they get their second goal, and regardless of the fact that Flaberdeen have been performing well in this match, O.B City were always a threat, and if it wasn't for the great goalkeeping efforts of Dawn and goals and the great defensive work from Flaberdeen, this would have been a much closer match score-wise, definitely close on the pitch. Another example of great battling, Jordan up against Stephen B, and Stephen B with the shot there, and very unfortunate to see the ball bounce off the post there. Both teams really laying everything down in order to try and win the game in this match. O.B City, as the game got on, were really struggling to try and see if they can get an opportunity, as again, like I said, the Flaberdeen defensive work was excellent with Lewis on the break, and the unfortunate effort for O.B City was rounded off with one of the last moves of the game being an unfortunate own goal from Stephen B, trying to get across and stop the opportunity of Lewis trying to set up Chopper, and the game ending 5-2 to Flaberdeen. And the final of our opening games sees the 2 new players to come together with 2 new teams for the first time in Fatburn Rovers versus Rapid Viennetta. And early on with Fatburn Rovers on a blistering attacking move there, having the first opportunity to try and get a sight on goal. James now captain for Fatburn Rovers with a shot on target there, but Rapid Viennetta showing themselves to have a strong defence in this game and a strong back line. Rapid Viennetta looking to play out from the back slowly with Ryan D, the goalkeeper there, but disaster struck there. And unfortunately for Rapid Viennetta, they were not punished by Fatburn Rovers for the mistake from the back. It didn't stop Rapid from doing slow build-up play out from the back, and a good build-up play in this sequence saw them get the opening goal of the match, with David striking the ball through the legs of Jason in goals, and unfortunately it going through the legs and being the opening goal of the match there. Great link-up play between the players, and just unfortunate for Jason trying to get down and low to try and get himself readied, but David seen the opportunity and slotting the ball away. Fatburn Rovers looked to come back into the match quickly with Robbie pushing forward, and eventually Fatburn Rovers did, with the attack, get the equalising goal. Robbie with some blistering pace down the line there, and eventually getting it into the bottom corner and getting the equaliser there for Fatburn Rovers. Fatburn constantly looking to try and do a quick counter-attack from their goalkeeper there, but Rapid were on task to try and slow them down and to try and intercept the shots there, but eventually their Fatburn's chance that came from that moment was not wide. They still played the ball forward with some intricate playing throughout the match and did find themselves in some good attacking options there, and Fraser taking full advantage of the positions that Fatburn Rovers were able to produce to get the second goal. A lovely run by Fraser, pointing and demanding he wants to pass right in front of him. The ball perfectly sent to him, and he slots it into the bottom corner for Fatburn Rovers' second goal. This is a tight contest between the teams on the field, with both teams going absolute blood and thunder to try and get the points with it, and Kev for Rapid Viennetta did bring the game to a 2-2 point with a lovely finish there. David doing some great work, battling the ball forward, finding his teammate Kev, and Kev with a powerful shot, blasting it past Jason there, and the game was all tied once again. Fatburn Rovers kept moving forward though, but Kev with some brilliant play up against the captain of Fatburn Rovers in James, but unfortunately for Kev on this scenario, the shot went high over there. Fatburn Rovers did, as said earlier, try to move from the back out quickly there, but it was to their detriment, and the ball was intercepted, and with Rapid Viennetta leaving 3 of their attackers up top there, David was able to get the third goal for Rapid Viennetta. Both Davids involved in this. David C there eventually just first missing the ball as it goes through Fraser there, but David M there managing to smash it into the bottom corner, giving Rapid the lead once again in this match. Kev with some lovely play there to play it upwards, and that was a huge advantage for Rapid Viennetta, who was able to use the backward board in order to find the teammate and get the ball into the back of the net there. Started off with that lovely flip by Kev there, and then some clever use of the boards, using the full facilities of the pitches there, and the ball landing perfectly at the feet of the Rapid Viennetta player to give Rapid Viennetta a 4-2 lead, which then shortly afterwards was then followed up by multiple chances that couldn't be converted into goals from there. But Rapid Viennetta showing that their consistent want and drive to try and find a further goal. Fatburn Rovers not completely out the game, and there were some moments for it, but Rapid were absolutely ruthless in this match at times there, and with a lovely finish there in their near post corner showed how clinical Rapid Viennetta were in this game, and really that was the main separation between these two teams. Lovely play throughout the match, but just a more clinical edge on Rapid Viennetta in this game. Rapid, as said beforehand, looking to build out from the back early on in this game, but it did come to their own detriment there, as Robbie with a quick response there to get another goal for Fatburn Rovers there, stepping forward, intercepting what was supposed to be a quick ball out to his teammates there. Ryan goes for Rapid, but eventually having to see the ball hit the back of his own net there. And Fatburn Rovers were unlucky at times where some of their finishing just couldn't be into the final sector, and the final third passes not fully finding their targets there, which gave more opportunities for Rapid Viennetta, and at times there had multiple opportunities with the Fatburn players standing back just watching to see what can be converted for it. Rapid Viennetta showing again, as said, their clinical edge in this match, and were able to get the game to 6-3, with Craig, one of the commissioner players, also getting on the score sheet in his supporting role for Rapid Viennetta. Not only were they clinical in front of goals, Rapid, they were also solid at the back at times, where, as pointed out previously, times where playing from the back was to their own detriment, but overall solid performance from that team as Fatburn looked to try and find options to cut through and to try and get chances. And as said beforehand, Fatburn Rovers did have their opportunities in the match, but the game ended up 6-3 in the end, and Rapid delighted to take away the points in the New Boys derby. On to round 2 of our week 2 features, and we see Fatburn Rovers versus O.B City. New kids on the block in Fatburn Rovers facing last season's champions O.B City, and this was a very, very tight game after some results that happened in the earlier games. This match could have gone anywhere, but both teams show good account on both sides in terms of trying to go forward and collect the points. O.B City early on looking like the team that they were going to strike first, but some great goalkeeping throughout the match from Jason in goals for Fatburn Rovers. A note to viewers, apologies for the inverted graphics that are on screen there, as Robbie stuck the first goal away after some poor play from the goals there from Penny, who's subbing and in goals for O.B City in this match. And they were punished straight away with trying to play it out from that position by Robbie there. O.B City looked to continuously try to come forward and to try and get the opportunities there, but Fatburn Rovers, again, as said, Jason in goals, being the anchor of an extremely strong defence there that gave them the opportunities to move forward, and they were able to take full advantage of some bad defending by O.B City through the match, and were able to punish them by getting a second goal for Fatburn Rovers. Lovely finish there from Fatburn Rovers after having some great link-up play between the players there, and delighted that they went 2-0 up early in this match, as you can tell by their faces. Long ball from Fatburn Rovers as they look to try and utilise all forms of tactics to try and take advantage of it, and eventually a quick save and thinking there from Penny in goals from O.B City was able to deter Fatburn Rovers for going ahead early on. But good link-up play after a defensive mishap gave Fatburn Rovers the third goal, and at this point it was where O.B City started to look as if they were in 6s and 7s every time Fatburn Rovers were able to power forward. A rare move forward for O.B City in the early factors of this game saw a chance spur wide for Burnley, as James here, for captain for Fatburn Rovers, battling with two O.B City players there, eventually with help from teammates wins the ball back again to try and spur another opportunity, which did itself end into a fourth goal for Fatburn Rovers. O.B City looking like they were able to take control of that ball in the midfield, but as quick as a flash, Fatburn Rovers were able to win that ball back and be able to get an opportunity not just on goal, but were able to finish off the opportunity to give themselves an immaculate 4th goal in this match to make it 4-0. O.B City in a position which they really found themselves last season, being 4 goals behind, and they needed to be able to inspire themselves to get a goal quickly in this match if they had any opportunity to try and get anything. And Stephen B trying to be too clever in defence there, and Ryan for Fatburn Rovers took full advantage of the ball getting stuck into the feet there. You can see the ball just getting twisted up within Stephen B's feet there. Ryan with a one-touch finish through the legs, and Willie having no chance there. And amazingly, Fatburn Rovers, new kids on the blocks, found themselves 5-0 against last season's champions. And it was in this moment where O.B City realised that they had to get their act together, with the ball played up to Captain Ryan, Ryan finding Burnley, and Captain Ryan showing his team exactly what they should have been doing from earlier on in the game. Simple passing, simple play, and with the results there. As Fraser came across to try and shut down Ryan's shooting opportunities there, Ryan, from full knowledge of where Burnley is, his teammate there, managed to find him right in front of goals, and Burnley showing how to finish the ball there. Fatburn Rovers did keep on going to try and find another opportunity there, but this also spurred on O.B City with the fact that they had been 5 goals down. And once again, Captain Ryan showing exactly to his team what they needed to be doing to get back into this game. The ball there with a slice of luck, finding him up front and able to outpace the fast defence of Fatburn Rovers, and Ryan himself would be delighted with the quality of that finish. But Fatburn Rovers had full confidence, not only with the high goal difference that they had earlier on, but just their continuous play throughout the match. O.B City continued to come forward and get chances on goals there, but a huge credit to the goalkeeper Jason, kept them in the game magnificently in this match and was able to keep the scoreline to 5-2 and the advantage to Fatburn Rovers there. And with a lovely finish in there from Nicky as well, giving Fatburn Rovers their 6th goal in the game. It meant that any tiny chance of an opportunity to get a goal was fully taken by the Fatburn Rovers team, and it paid them dividends. The score line ended up being 6-2 in the match between the teams, but Fatburn Rovers still came forward, but again with some impeccable goalkeeping skills there from Jason, keeping the ball from going into his near post there. The ball still in play for O.B City, and a wonderful save there from Jason, denying Stephen R, which you would put your house on that he would stick that ball into the back of the net. This combination of clinical finishing up front and once again amazing goalkeeping skills from Jason in this match was the main reason why Fatburn Rovers were eventually able to walk away with the points in this game. The tenacity from the Fatburn Rovers players as well to get back and defend, and the skill set there of goalkeeping skills on show from Jason there was the ultimate combination. O.B City had plenty of opportunities and chances to try and nick goals in this, so it wasn't that they were out of the match or necessarily even played bad, just had no luck on their side in this match, and the game ending 6-2 to the boys in green. Second of our mid-fixtures, the Scrandinavia versus Flaberdeen, and this match seeing 2 Titans go up against each other in a brand new season. Scrandinavia finding themselves at the bottom of the league and desperate to get points this week, and Flaberdeen having a mixed bag of results in the opening week and a mixture of results so far in this week. Early on, Scrandinavia looking like they were going to have some opportunities to try and get the opening goal, but eventually it landed into the goalkeeper's hands. Dan, coming in from the commissioner's team for Flaberdeen, looking to have a positive impact in the game, finding Jordan very early on with the game, and eventually finding Chopper, who does put the goal in the back of the net, but the referee calling that the touch has happened in the box. The ball not quite in the box, but it may be that second foot in the box there that is what's given to the referee as in the box, but it could be contested. Chances for Scandinavia were aplenty in this match, but you could argue that their downfall was their finishing, and Paul T for Flaberdeen showing exactly what finishing Scandinavia needed throughout this match. but just wasn't quite there in the majority of times. A powerful shot smashing into the back of the net there to give Flaberdeen the opening goal in this match. Flaberdeen having plenty of chances, but so too did Scrandinavia, but in a lot of times Scrandinavia were either found themselves extremely unlucky in their finishing, or they were snatching at the chances, and you do wonder if there was an air of desperation to try and get the goals, giving their league position. Damn, the lovely back heel there to link up with Jordan as Jordan gets his opening goal of Fat Fies Season 4. Great little play there. Managed to get it through the legs of Stewart there, and Jordan with a cool finish to see it past Thomas in goals to give Flaberdeen the second goal. Luke in goals for Flaberdeen found himself in a great position with his goalkeeping duties for the majority of this game that he was in, and that gave Flaberdeen the opportunity to play the ball from the back. Jordan, with his tireless running throughout the match, able to find his captain Paul T. The ball eventually lost, Don winning it back, and Don with a great shot, but just matched with the goalkeeping skills of Thomas in goal for Scandinavia. And again, as said, at times Scandinavia did have opportunities to go forward, but did find themselves snatching at them. And at this point, a very fortunate for Flaberdeen shot from Scandinavia there, almost landing into the back of net spectacularly, but Luke on hand to get a hand to it. The ball lost in this highlight to show the goal that eventually did come for Flaberdeen at the feet of Paul there, set up by Jordan wonderfully there, 2-on-1, and Paul receiving the ball from Jordan and doing a captain's job and slotting it back into the net to make it 3-0 to Flaberdeen at this point in the match. Scandinavia looking to mimic some of the luck they've had from early kickoffs, but the defence for Flaberdeen managed to match that and eventually spearhead a counter-attack, with Luke now out of goals and the opportunity there matched by Thomas in goals, and eventually snuffing out the opportunity there. Scandinavia looking to come forward, and you can see the frustration on Captain Baz Jr.'s face there. A little bit of hustling there from Luke, and that would have put off Baz for the opportunity, but nothing given, and then Flaberdeen heading up to the pitch with the opportunity that is saved. Lewis continually battling there to try and win an opportunity, but eventually ends up into the Scandinavian goalkeeper's hands. Scandinavia, with multiple ventures into the Flaberdeen half, were never able to really pull the trigger and be clinical in front of goals, and that was eventually punished by Flaberdeen as Jordan collects his second goal of the game and second goal of the week. Jordan, up against two defenders, manages to give them the eyes and the shuffle of the feet, and with a great finish at a tight angle there, slotting the ball into the bottom corner, giving Flaberdeen their fourth goal in the match. Scoring wasn't quite done there for Flaberdeen, as Chopper looking to link up with Jordan in this, and successfully does, and giving Jordan the opportunity to round off a fantastic match and a fantastic individual performance for himself, with his hat-trick and the fifth goal for Flaberdeen. Great link-up play once again between Chopper and Jordan showing exactly what Scandinavia may be missing as a team, just that clinical finish there. Flaberdeen did not rest on their laurels, but neither did Scandinavia. The ball lost once again to Flaberdeen as Chopper eventually collects after Jordan's shot. It was wide there. Jordan manages to find Don in space, and Don was able to round off the scoring romp in this game for Flaberdeen with a wonderful finish and a well executed celebration there to show his delight. This game was one to forget for Scandinavia, with the final score being 6-0 and with Don's goal signalling the end of the match. Last of our middle fixtures for week 2 saw our new boys Rapid Viennetta look to come up against Parmesan Belgrade, as another tightly fought game was on the cards here between these teams. Rapid Viennetta forced into defensive duties there to deny Parmesan Belgrade for the opening goal. Rapid Viennetta looking to build up slowly in this match to try and build the opportunities and give them the chance, and a long range shot from David eventually gave Rapid Viennetta the early goal. Parmesan's goalkeeper unable to see the shot ahead of time and react, and unfortunately for Paul, had to watch that ball go into the back of the net in the corner of the Parmesan goal there. Rapid Viennetta looking to continue on their fantastic form in these early weeks of the new season, and they started off with the best opportunity with that opening goal. Parmesan Belgrade did at times look lethal coming forward. Richard's shot here just unfortunately bouncing off the boards there, and then the Parmesan teammates unable to get a shot straight away from that miss. But it was tight between the two teams for a long period of time, with Parmesan Belgrade once again having opportunities there. Unfortunately, the ball just ending up opportunistically for Rapid Viennetta, and Cal having a double opportunity there but unable to convert. Parmesan Belgrade kept pushing forward, with Yanis being in front of the goal, slowly trying to find an opportunity but couldn't quite, finding teammate Kev, who danced his way into the box, and unfortunately it was just one heavy touch in front of the box that denied them a shot on goal to try and get the equaliser. Eventually the ball did come towards Yanis in a fantastic position, but some great goalkeeping there by Ryan for Rapid Viennetta denied Parmesan Belgrade an equaliser early on in this game and forced them all the way back to their own keeper. Joshua eventually foot on the ball, trying to find a way through, and a teammate plays it to Graham in their defence, and unfortunately the cameraman unable to follow the action there. Eventually does, that then sees the ball fortunately bounce off the goalkeeper, line up for Yanis, and Yanis does get that equaliser for Parmesan Belgrade, giving them a way back into this match early on. Joshua there almost thinking that the opportunity is done. The Rapid Viennetta players not paying quite attention that the ball hasn't quite got stuck into the box, and unfortunately there for Rapid and their goalkeeper Yanis showing the clinical finishing that he's had for the many seasons he's been involved in the league. Parmesan Belgrade continue to look to push forward to try and get an opportunity out the match, and eventually took the lead through Graham with a long range shot into the bottom corner, to their absolute delight, and to what you would have to say is the general run of play in this match to give them surprisingly the 2-1 lead. Their play did deserve it, but Rapid had been playing extremely well, and it was a surprise to all the players on the pitch to find Parmesan in front. Parmesan, though, were finding themselves under attack straight from the kickoff away from after their goal, and their lead didn't last for long, with a wonderfully placed shot out wide from Lewis hitting into the top corner there and bringing the game back to 2-2, and Rapid getting rid of that trailing behind effect almost instantaneous and galvanising them to push forward in the match. Unfortunately, nothing Parmesan Belgrade can do about trying to stop that shot. Colin for Parmesan Belgrade finding Graham, and Graham with another opportunity on target there, but this time from a very similar position the Rapid Viennetta goalkeeper is able to get on it. But unfortunately for Parmesan Belgrade, a mix-up between goalkeeper and Richard in defence there gave an opportunity for Rapid Viennetta to go in front. The long ball there looked like Richard was going to get on it, does get a touch, not enough to take it away, and Paul came very close to the edge of his box there, but because of that gave himself no chance to react to the touch there from the Rapid Viennetta player. Rapid Viennetta continued to push forward and apply the pressure to the Parmesan Belgrade goal, and eventually Kev there from distance getting a shot that saved, fortunately, the ball for Kev landing back at his feet, and with his second attempt managed to get a fourth goal for Rapid Viennetta. Great play from Rapid here, finding their talisman striker and current top goal scorer in the league in space, and a huge slice of luck there that it lands almost perfectly back to Kev's feet in order to get the second goal in there. Parmesan Belgrade throughout this match continued to carve out chances for themselves, and unfortunately Colin's shot there meeting the goalkeeping skills of Ryan for Rapid in goals there. But that didn't deter them. They continued on to try and make the opportunities, but unfortunately it put themselves into jeopardy. Colin losing the ball there, David with a lovely little shimmy there, moving the ball across to his left foot and applying the finish as Richard comes back trying to get a tackle there. It looked like almost Richard was going to be able to sneak in and get the ball away, but some lovely awareness there from David, a shimmy onto the left foot and a great finish there. At 5-2, the match hadn't quite reached its conclusion there, with the opportunity of David feeding into Cal. Cal threw on there, couldn't get the conversion going, and the long shot there met by the hands of Paul in goals. Parmesan Belgrade continued to push forward to try and seek out to see if they could cut the deficit. Joshua there doing that, in fact, changing the scoreline to 5-3 and cutting away at Rapid's lead back to just the 2 goals. And this gave a slimmer of hope for Parmesan Belgrade to get back into this match with a very limited amount of time left. But Rapid were completely clinical when they had their opportunities as they pushed forward to try and get even more goals and to get their lead back going once again. But unfortunately, at times, shots were being met by some great goalkeeping there from their goalkeeper. Parmesan looking to come through on the counter-attack, but couldn't convert it into anything there. And again, Rapid continued to move forward to try and get some goals to try and see and get the lead back, but the match ended up 5-3 to Rapid Viennetta. Our last round of fixtures for week 2 see Scrandinavia versus Rapid Viennetta. Scrandinavia looking to try and get vital points against what seems to be a rampant Rapid Viennetta on their debut season. And early on in the game, Scrandinavia looked as if they had that hunger to try and push forward to try and get the goal. But Rapid Viennetta were not letting them roll into this game too easy, with Rapid Viennetta being on an amazing run of results over the last couple of weeks as they make their mark in a brand new league. Stuart here early on with a great shot on target, but Ryan showing some expert goalkeeping skills there and good reactionary skills to ensure the ball does not present another opportunity for Scrandinavia. But it was Rapid Viennetta that hit the target first and got the rewards first, with David slotting the ball into the bottom corner there. A quick rollout from Ryan in goals, and David pushing forward with the ball managed to just do a lovely shot into the bottom corner there, and Barry Street in goals unable to get a touch onto it. As much as Scrandinavia used that goal to spur themselves forward, it was Rapid Viennetta once again that managed to hit the target to get a second goal. Great build-up play here, switching the ball over to Kev, the prolific goal scorer for Rapid Viennetta, who absolutely smashed that goal into the back of the net. Captain Cal here setting up his talisman goal scorer for the season so far and top goal scorer for the league thus far. And Rapid Viennetta were on their way with 2 goals. Scrandinavia looked to try and play slow, possessive and timely passes to try and cut open Rapid Viennetta. Unfortunately, Rapid Viennetta were completely clinical on the counter-attack, which caused the frustration to the Scandinavian players that any little mistake that they made, Rapid punished them for, just like their third goal here, with Kev slotting it expertly into the bottom corner there on the counter-attack after a misplaced pass from Scandinavia. Scandinavia left to resort to long shots and to Hail Marys to try and get anything out of the game, and Kev linking up with Craig, one of the commissioner's substitution players, to help them get in on the act and to get a 4th goal for Rapid Viennetta in this game. Lovely back heel from Kev and a expertly placed shot there from Craig, showing why he's a player to be considered. But it didn't deter Scandinavia completely with the Rapid's dominance there, and they did manage to get a goal through Barry C. A lovely little turn from Barry there after receiving the ball from his goalkeeper, and managed to finally get the ball to go past Ryan D. in goals, who has been a absolute wall for Rapid over the last couple of weeks. And that made the score 4-1 between the teams, and from there on in the match became a bit of a ding-dong contest, with each players having opportunity to try and get goals on the opposition's target. Shot here from Scott just high there, leaving Ryan stretching for the opportunity, followed up with a second opportunity for Adam for Scandinavia, but once again Ryan in goals, matching both efforts and ensuring that the score remained as it was at that moment. And then even further into the match, more opportunities for both sides. Scandinavia trying to play the ball with passing and precision, but then Rapid on the counter-attack giving them an opportunity, and once again the Rapid goalkeeper Ryan coming to their aid and ensuring that they were able to keep the score at 4-1 with the 3-goal lead. Scandinavia trying to be precision in their passing, unfortunately wasn't always at times. But Rapid, when given the opportunity, were finding themselves having an equal in goal, with Des showcasing some expert goalkeeping skills to keep the score at 4-1 between the two teams.
Well done.
And the last highlight of this section, a shot there from Scott once again, but it's just saved there by Ryan in goals, and Rapid had the chance to clean up. After all that action in both goal mouths, it was Rapid who were the next team to find success with the ball in the back of the net. Great patient play up between the Rapid players, and then Craig once again showing his ability to place the ball with precision into the corner, as Baz Jr. there tries to galvanise the team and try to advise of what should be going on there. You'd have to admit that Baz is right in this, but he's also culpable. There's no player applying pressure onto Craig there, including Baz himself, who is looking and thinking that the pass is on there, but it didn't happen, and they go another goal down. However, Captain showed how to lead from the front there by harassing the Rapid defence there, and as Rapid made the mistake in front of their own goal, he punished them for it. Good tenacity there from Baz to fight for that ball off the defence for the Rapid players, and it made the score then become a 5-2 scoreline between the teams. But once again, it was Rapid that were not resting on their laurels and pushed forward to find a 6th goal. Great play down the wide there between the Rapid players, finding once again talisman goal scorer Kev, who shows exactly why he is at the top of the league for goals in this league. Lovely little flick of the foot there to go past outrushing Des, and Rapid Viennetta found themselves with their 6th goal. Once again, opportunities abound for both teams, and you have to admit that Scandinavia could have had a more complementary scoreline if it wasn't for the combination of both the goalkeeping skills on display for Rapid and also a bit more clinical finishing from the team as well. But Rapid put Scrandinavia to the sword and punished them with a 7th goal in this match. The ball bobbling around in the middle of the field, and then a sucker punch there from Rapid on Scrandinavia as the ball found Kev lurking on his own, you'd have to admit, in the opposition half, with only Thomas here in front of the camera, the only player being able to track back at all. Even besides that, Kev right in front of him having a teammate there, and Scandinavia's defence absolutely nowhere to be seen. And that was the end of the scoring for the match, but it wasn't the end of the opportunities, and once again it was unfortunate for Scandinavia that their finishing wasn't more clinical, but the same can be said also about Rapid, who were starting to take the foot off the pedal a little bit and just weren't as clinical as they were. David there with the wide shot, either a shot on target trying to find Kev but being unsuccessful. And the game ended at 7-2 to Rapid, who are showing a great display in their debut season. Another one of our final round fixtures for week 2 saw Flaberdeen take on Fatburn Rovers. Both these teams having good mixture of results in week 2, but both will have been keen going into this game to get 3 points once again to round out the week positively. And it was Flaberdeen who got a great start to the match with an early goal. The ball being played out from the back from captain Paul T in goals. Fraser there really applying some pressure onto Jordan, but Jordan eventually seeing it back to his goalkeeper, and then it provided the opportunity for Dan to start to spearhead an attack, finding Chopper from Paul in the middle of the pitch. Chopper then scooping the ball up to Jordan into the opposition half, and then the ball getting fed into the middle of the pitch from Jordan, finding Dan, and Dan being able to slot that goal away to give the opening goal for Flaberdeen and Dan's 2nd goal of his debut week. Great build-up play here from the Flaberdeen team. Options abound for everybody there, and a lovely little dummy there from Jordan to give the eyes to Fatburn, thinking Chopper's going to receive it, while Dan sneaks in the back with the move and the finish there. However, celebrations for Flaberdeen were shortly lived as Fatburn Rovers were able to get an equaliser very closely afterwards. With Flaberdeen with the ball in their own half, it became a little bit of a sucker punch move here, with the ball not quite meeting Chopper, and Robbie there smashing the ball from distance into the back of the net to give Fatburn Rovers the equaliser they were looking for there. In either case, with that pass arriving at Chopper, 2 players coming in hounding the commissioner in the middle of the field for Flaberdeen there. It would have been wonder if he was going to be able to get out of that position with the ball in possession at all. but it looked like the Fatburn Rovers had got themselves a second goal and a leading goal until a ball from another pitch landed on the pitch and the referee deemed that the ball had interrupted play there. You can see the incoming ball just as the shot is about to be hit there, and Paul, goalkeeper for Flaberdeen, obviously distracted by the ball coming in. But it was Fatburn Rovers who were able to get the second goal eventually, even after Flaberdeen having a slight fortuitous event with the ball coming over for that previous shot on target being rolled out. Initially, the shot there from Fatburn Rovers going wide and getting bounced into Flaberdeen's possession. And then, with a run made by Chopper, Dan looking to play the long ball, unfortunately read and intercepted by Robbie, and a wonderful finish there from distance on the volley from Robbie. A deserved goal for Fatburn Rovers for the quality of that goal, but Flaberdeen in dismay at the fact that it came almost out of nothing and of their own doing. And Dan there you can see down on the floor. But all credit to Robbie for the interception and the finish rather than criticising Dan for the pass. And then there was a long period of the game where both teams edged it out to try and get for Flaberdeen the equaliser and for Fatburn Rovers to try and extend their lead. Lewis here with the shot, but Jason in goals once again as displayed previously in other games. His goalkeeping skills was one of the differences in this match to ensure Fatburn Rovers did not concede any more goals than they did in the match. Slow build-up play there, but then Flaberdeen having that opportunity in front of goal once again. Lewis being denied by Jason's goalkeeping skills, and Fatburn Rovers being able to keep that door shut. And Flaberdeen continually pushing forward, trying to get the opportunity, looking like a real hunger for attacking this week in their matches. Don trying to flick that ball around, Chopper picking up the ball, finding Lewis, and then another opportunity denied by Jason. And Lewis reportedly going home and having nightmares about Jason's goalkeeping skills for the entire forthcoming week, according to the player. Eventually, after a period of time, Fatburn Rovers did find success and rewarded their goalkeeper with some stellar saves early on in the match. Jordan for Flaberdeen pushing forward with the ball, trying to find Don in front of goals, but eventually the ball is lost. And then in the midfield, a wonderful finish there from Matthew. Scooped into the top corner there, and Paul T in goals for Flaberdeen. Nothing he can do to save that one. There's nothing much more that Flaberdeen could have done with Lewis back in defence there. It is all credit to the shot and the quality of the finish there. Flaberdeen, though, did manage to come forward and get a goal, and a wonderful run by Don, taking on multiple players, several times having options to play the ball to other teammates there. But the finish there, getting it past Jason, and Don will be delighted with that finish. Brilliant solo skill here, taking on several players, and then as two defenders come across for Fatburn Rovers, manages to finish that off. A fantastic goal for Don, who had to spend a long time last season waiting for an opening goal, but has managed to find his goal scoring boots already this season. And then as it looked like Flaberdeen might be able to get an equaliser to make it 3-3, eventually Fatburn Rovers got the fourth, killing off the game entirely there and giving them a 2-goal lead. A rollout after a brilliant save by Jason and a lovely 1-2 between the Fatburn Rovers players, and Nicky slotting that ball past Lewis in goals to give the fourth and final goal in this match to the Fatburn Rovers players, to their delight after having a stellar run in the last couple of weeks and in their debut season. Flaberdeen tried their best to come forward with it, but Fatburn Rovers didn't give them an inch in it, and to almost carving out some more opportunities to try and get a fifth goal. But eventually the game did see itself play out to the final score of 4-2. Fatburn Rovers delighted with another 3 points, and Flaberdeen frustrated they couldn't get into the game. Final game of week 2 saw Parmesan versus O.B City. These two have had a history of battling for leagues and for season titles previously, and so they meet once again in a brand new season where everything is to play for at this moment, with O.B City though having the better run of form over previous weeks. And early on in this match, Burnley unfortunately receiving a really bad injury that saw him out for the rest of the match here, and it's just unfortunate the way of landing. Nothing malicious there from Paul on the Parmesan players. Burnley did eventually manage to get up, was able to walk off on his own feet, but essentially was out for the rest of the match. And unfortunately for O.B City, were down a player early on in the game. Though they did manage to still push forward with the talent and players that they had, with Stephen B with an early chance here, but Richard being able to stand up to the chance there and being able to clear the ball with his feet, denying the opening goal to O.B City. And then an opportunity for O.B City again, once again in front of goals, but it did eventually lead to Parmesan being able to have their own chance, but Stephen unusually finding himself in goals, showing not only that he can score goals, but he can deny them at the same time as well. Eventually, O.B City were able to get forward and get the opening goal in this match. The ball bundling about in the middle of the pitch, and eventually Matthew then pushed forward and was able to smash the ball into the bottom corner past Richard in goals, who had denied O.B City early on in the match to give them the opening goal. A great finish from Matthew there, who's starting to find goal scoring boots this week and get goals for his new team. But Parmesan Belgrade weren't behind for very long. Kevin coming forward with the ball, finding Yanis, and from an almost impossible angle, Yanis managed to squeeze the ball past Stephen in goals there, and Stephen then eventually taking out our cameraman from distance there. Yanis, great credit to the finish of the ball, looks like as if there would be no opportunity on, but managed to find the tiniest gap past Stephen and get the goal for Parmesan Belgrade there. But O.B City came back into this game absolutely fired up after that goal. Stephen B winning that ball in the corner brilliantly, and a great turn to get away from Adam there, and a fantastic finish as well on a really tight angle, smashing that underneath Richard in goals for Parmesan Belgrade, giving them the second goal. And that also spurred on O.B City to go forward and get themselves a third. The free kick here played by Penny to find Stephen, and then Matthew in front of goal to get another goal for him this week for O.B for his time at O.B City. And a great build up there between all the players involved. They are Stephen being able to find Matthew and Penny finding Stephen from the free kick, and O.B City got their just rewards for that great play up there. And then there's a bit of an incident that happened in the match, starting with Kevin coming forward with the ball, eventually tripping over it, finding it way towards Colin, who then found Yanis, and then Stephen B came flying out the goals and was penalised with a penalty to Parmesan Belgrade. A little bit of controversy has been going around this, but you can see here from the replay, Stephen is actually out the box when he makes contact to the ball. The penalty then hit by Paul, and Yanis scores on the rebound with the goal given, but a lot of controversy has happened around this goal, and after consultation with the referee, it has been determined that yes, Paul here takes more than one step for the penalty when he takes it. However, at the goalkeeper situation, Stephen B is seen moving off the line prior to the ball being hit and is already diving before the player takes it. So both infringements from both players have cancelled it out, and Yanis then reacting first to get to the ball. Subsequently, with consultation with the players, new rules will be in place for penalties, and will be highlighting those as they appear in the upcoming weeks to ensure the rules are understood by both viewers and players. And then we had the most memorable occasion of the match, Stephen leaving the ball to Penny, and the skyward hit, which has been doing the rounds on social media in meme format, putting Penny back into the spotlight. But a lovely try there from Penny, but unfortunately he's playing rugby, not football at this very moment. With everything happening there, O.B City were able to get themselves pushing forward once again, and Stephen with a great goal from distance, spurred on from the opportunities earlier in the match when he was in goals that managed to squeeze past him. And there, just for the confirmation of viewers, he's pointing with one index finger, not the rude finger there, to indicate his first goal. And then from there on in, Parmesan Belgrade looked as if they were going to try and get a goal to bring themselves back into the match. A free kick here though for a little bit of a jostle on Ryan, as he's being pushed up against the boards there from Kevin D, eventually saw O.B City take the free kick from it. And a spectacular free kick from Ryan, which you'll see in just a second, which almost landed into the top corner, which is why we're showing you the clip and hole, completely out of nothing, heading towards it, and Yanis does make the save there, but a little bit lower, and it could have landed into the top corner for Ryan and be a spectacular goal. An opportunity then for O.B City, but Yanis in goal, matching that with some goalkeeping skills. And just a word to viewers as well, there's also been a rule update as per consultation with the players that free kicks will no longer be direct, they will always be indirect. Keep an eye out for that in future videos. But then Parmesan Belgrade looked to push their players forward to try and get another goal, and O.B City detecting this had them on the sucker punch here, with Stephen shooting from range there. A fantastic shot there from Stephen, absolute arrow heading into the back of the net, and Stephen then reminding us how many goals he has scored thus far. A simple rollout from Stephen B, finding Stephen R on the run, and an absolute rocket going in there, leaving Giannis just standing and looking at the ball going past. And there's one more goal to be had in this game, and it went to O.B City. And once again, it is their top goal scorer, Stephen R, who was on the end of it. Speaking to Stephen afterwards, he said this initially was a pass. However, it is a great finish anyway. And as that was supposed to be lining up his captain, Ryan, which is why there's a little bit of the embarrassment celebration there. Credit to Stephen, it slotted right into the bottom corner. Doesn't matter what Stephen intended to do with it, it was still a goal and it still counts there. The argument there is he's saying he's trying to play the ball into Ryan. Doesn't matter. It's a goal and they all count. And I'm sure his teammates are delighted that he managed to get them another goal in this match. And that was the end of the scoring for this game, which had events galore, but eventually did settle down, being the last game of the matches with players tiring. 6-2 the final score to O.B City, and they will be delighted to get another 3 points on the table. Confirmation of the final scores: Parmesan Belgrade 6, Scrandinavia 6, Flaberdeen 5, O.B City 2, Rapid Viennetta 6, Fatburn Rovers 3, Scrandinavia 0, Flaberdeen 6, Parmesan Belgrade 3, Rapid Viennetta 5, O.B City 2, Fatburn Rovers 6, Rapid Viennetta 7, Scrandinavia 2, Fatburn Rovers 4, Flaberdeen 2, and O.B City 6, Parmesan Belgrade 2. Looking at the league table after all games have been played in this week, Rapid Viennetta sitting on 15 points to top, with Fatburn Rovers slowly behind them in 13. O.B City dropped down to third in 12 points, but with a 21 goal difference. Flaberdeen in 4th place with 7, moving up. Parmesan Belgrade moving down with 4 points to 5th. And Scrandinavia stuck at the bottom with 1 point. Fat Fives Football are looking for new players to join our league. If you have a BMI of 26 plus and are in the North East Scotland region, please go to our website fatfives.football and fill out the player registration form. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to receive notifications when all new videos are released.